Hello and Tashidelek, Pakar Sang, happy Wednesday, everybody. So I hope everybody is doing well, and so here we are for our Wednesday with Rinpoche, our usual Wednesday teaching, and so today actually I posted something yesterday on my Facebook. As we all know that yesterday was a full moon, and it was a third lunar month, and on that full moon in the Buddhist history, it is actually one of the very important occasion that happened during the Buddha Shakyamuni time, and that time actually we all consider this great Vajrayana tantric system called the Kalachakra. So on that full moon, we consider that is the day Buddha actually taught on Kalachakra Tantra, and so there is actually a root text of Kalachakra Tantra that we consider Manjushri Namasangiti is the root text, and so that actually what is Manjushri Namasangiti, and that is actually there are like maybe 160 stanza, and each stanza has a four line, and that is a collection of different names of Manjushri, and somehow we all consider Manjushri who is actually the wisdom, right? So Manjushri actually represent the wisdom. So the wisdom in Tibetan we say Sherab, and when Sherab actually advance, then we call it like a Yishi. So the name of the text is called the Jambe. So that is the Manjushri Namasangiti, and so actually that text is considered to be a very important text. Somehow it is the Yangning, means it is the essence or the root of all the Tantra. So that text is very actually very most important, and so in the Buddhist history actually we say that if you know the meaning of the Manjushri Namasangiti, then you will know the Vajrayana, you will know the Tantra. If you don't know the meaning of Manjushri Namasangiti, then you don't know. So that is even Buddha said that in the text. So that is why that text is considered to be very important. Even during my study, my teacher actually recommend before I recite or memorize anything, that my teacher actually recommend me to memorize this 160 stanza of the Manjushri Namasangiti, and So actually I did, and that is in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, like in our monastery, when we start studying Buddhism, we actually kind of start, or we begin with memorizing this Manjushri Namasangiti. So somehow, actually, I memorize it and I recite it many times. But then there was a kind of gap that then I forget. Then sort of I kind of review it again. So kind of then I actually kind of recollect all the meaning. So somehow I will not say that I know the meaning of the Manjushri Namasangiti. Still, I am kind of trying to learn. So just kind of the 160 stanza for most of you, maybe it's very much because first of all, the original Manjushri Namasangiti was actually written in Sanskrit, and then it was later translated into Tibetan, and so I think it was also maybe translated in English, I think, but when you actually look at it, even if you find the translation, sort of the meaning of the text is so profound. It is so profound that the meaning actually were very much hidden in each different word. So somehow, sometimes it is we don't even know, there is kind of some words, then it is just one simple word, but then it has many different layers of meanings. And so somehow, to remember the Manjushri Namasangiti teaching that Buddha Shakyamuni gave, actually he gave that in the Pandyan Trebum, and that is the, I think these days place is called Dharanikota in Amravati in South India, Andhra Pradesh, and there is one stupa there, and some of you maybe remember a few years ago, His Holiness the Dalai Lama actually gave the Kalachakra empowerment there. And somehow, in the Buddhist history, we believe that Buddha Shakyamuni actually opened the mandala of the Kalachakra there, and so during that time, the Manjushri Namasangiti was actually proclaimed, or he taught that, so that is considered to be a very important day yesterday. So that is why I remember, and then I cannot put the whole Manjushri Namasangiti, but I actually posted the short version of the Manjushri Namasangiti. So, and this is a very actually profound to, even though we don't know the meaning, but just by reciting it, I think it will leave some huge kind of a holy imprints in our deep consciousness. So somehow, it is kind of good to actually sort of absorb the blessing, right? The blessing energy of that Manjushri Namasangiti. So here, actually, maybe many of you have seen that on my Facebook post, but I actually sort of I will try to recite it so that some of you may be wondering how does it sound and stuff like that. So, how it actually goes in Tibetan is Jagarakyatu Arya Manjushri Tantra Garba. So that is the Sanskrit name, right? And Bökyatu Papa Jambe Ki Gyugi Yangying. So in Tibetan, we kind of translate that. In English, it is the quintessence of the noble Manjushri Tantra. So it is the quintessence, the essence of the noble Manjushri Tantra. And then Papa Jambe Yangla Chache Lo, sort of that is the, when the translator, when they translate the, word from the Sanskrit into Tibetan. So there is a one paying homage, sort of like to the Manjushri. So the word was actually put by the Tibetan translator, saying that homage to Aya Manjushri. And then the actual sutra, the Manjushri Tanta Garba, Manjushri Jambe, Pawa Jambe Yugi Yangning. So the essence of the Manjushri Namasangi, they actually begin like that. So in English it is like, in this way, to the awakened one, the transcendent Lord, Yishi Kude Rangjung Wa, the wisdom Kaya, spontaneously arisen, Yishi Mikchik Tima Me, the single eye of wisdom, entirely unobscured, Yishi Nawa Lame Wa, the light of wisdom, forever shining brightly, Arabaza Nayete Nama. So that is the Manjushri, the mantra. And then, Yishikuni Kyolandu, to you, the very embodiment of wisdom, I bow. Zobe Sanje Kungi She, thus it is explained by the perfect Buddhas. So Jumden de Jambe Yishi Sembe Tanda Me Senyang Daba Jube Ningbo, Jumden de Tijin Shewa Shaja Tube, Sumba Zoso. This concludes this teaching spoken by the Transcendent Lord Shakyamuni, the essence of the perfect recitation, recitation of the name of the wisdom being, the Transcendent Lord Manjushri. So that is the English translation. So this is actually, when you actually look at that, right, this one, like it is just like almost there, like a 1.5 stanza, right, sort of. So, so somehow, wisdom, right, the Manjushri. So Manjushri, sometimes we think that Manjushri is like, we always think like some bodhisattva, right? So, like sometimes we kind of consider Manjushri as like some deity, right? And then just kind of like there, like a Manjushri actually can be what do you call? Manjushri represent many different things. For example, like in Tibetan we say shi negap, lamgin negap, jibu negap means shi negap means on the basic ground, what does the Manjushri represent? And then on the path, what does Manjushri represent? And then as a result, on the result level, what does Manjushri represent? Sort of like, so somehow Manjushri is not just a deity. So somehow it is the, what do you call, wisdom. So wisdom in English, right, we call it wisdom. So in Tibetan, wisdom, sort of like we say Sherab. So she, and there's a 2 syllable for that word, right? There is a one word is called the she, and then another one is a rab, right? So this is a very, like if we really look into it, it is a very profound actually. So she, like she, actually what is meant by she? Shepa means like simply in English we translate that as to know, right? To know. So like so something kind of like and also kind of simple translation of the she is also awareness, right? Awareness. So she means awareness or know, to know. And then rab, so that the second syllable has a very interesting meaning actually. You know, so it is not just awareness, right? So if you put the second syllable rab to that awareness, so what is meant by rab? Rab means actually supreme, right? Rab chok, in Tibetan we say chok is also supreme, like a, or something like a, what do you call, the best, or like the, you know, something that is kind of like a, what do you call, something that is advanced, you know, advanced. So rab Like if you actually simply translate the two words she and rab, so then she rab means a kind of like a supreme awareness. So supreme awareness means not just awareness, right? Not just awareness, sort of like the awareness, right? The awareness actually upgraded. Awareness just sort of like advanced. So it is like an advanced awareness or supreme awareness, right? So then, like if we really look into the meaning, share, like aware. What is meant by aware? What is meant by to know? Like knowing things, right? Like for example, what is meant by know? Like if we simply ask this question to ourselves, like what do you know, right? What do you know? Like in Tibetan word, like what do you know? What do you know? Like sort of like if you actually sort of like understand the meaning of understanding or to know. But like for example, if I give you an example, like I will show one, what do you call? I will just kind of take this one Vajra, right? So I will pick up this Vajra and then I will say, okay, so this is Vajra, right? And then if I ask you that, do you know what is this? And then what is your answer? It's just kind of like, yes, I know what, Rinpoche, you're holding in your hand, that is Vajra. And how do you know this is Vajra? And then you will say, you just said it. Right? You just said this is a Vajra, right? In Tibetan, it is Dorje, right? So, and then in the scripture, it says that it is Vajra. So somehow, so kind of like, and like when I say, what is this? Do you know what is this I'm holding? You know, what is this I'm holding? And do you know this? And your mind immediately says, yes, I know. But really think carefully. Really think carefully. Do you know what is this? Do you know what is this? You know, somehow, like we just know that whatever you are actually, whatever I'm holding, it is called Vajra. It is called Dorje. That is what, you know. And then you will think that, okay, now I know. So, kind of like, what is the difference between you gather the information about this thing, gathering the information of this thing and knowing of this thing. And then there's another word of like knowing about this thing. So what is the difference actually? Knowing what it is, knowing about this, and knowing, like getting an information about this. So that is kind of like just kind of like what we consider we know is like if we know that, okay, this thing that is you're holding, it is called Dorje or it is called Vajra, and you just kind of, you know that the name of this object is Vajra, and then we consider that we know, right? For example, when we meet each other, like, oh, I know you, right? When we say, I know you, how do you know, actually? So, like, if we really look into it, then, like, to know is very actually difficult. To know something is very difficult. To know, like, if we just kind of look at a flower and then you just say, okay, this flower, you know, I'm holding a rose flower, and you say that, okay, whatever flower that you're holding, I know what is that, and it is called rose. Then we consider we know, but actually what it is. So to know the thing, to know the thing, like do we just, if we know one aspect of it, then does it mean that we know about it, or we know that thing? So that is why being aware, to know something, if we know, then do we have to know completely about it, or do we have to know completely of it? So then somehow, if whatever we know, somehow we don't know, we don't have a complete awareness of it, right? We don't know the totality, right? The totality. So somehow, so knowing, when you actually know something totally, when you know the things completely, when you know the things completely from inside out, like from the outside, from the inside, and this is what it is, just kind of like basically what it is mean is the truth, right? The truth of anything, right? Truth of existence, truth of anything, truth of yourself, truth of a tree, the truth of a rock. So so that is so that is why Sherab means kind of the supreme awareness, or supreme knowing, or supreme understanding. So when you actually reach that supreme level state, something that when you actually know something completely, the truth, relative truth and ultimate truth of things completely, then you reach the level of Manjushri. So that is sort of so that is why when we say, it is like bowing to Manjushri, so it is somehow on this basic ground, on the basic ground, yes, we do have, right? We do have Shi Ishichugu. Shi Ishichugu means basic, on the basic ground, there is on the basic ground level, we have this nature, which is kind of like the wisdom nature, which means we have a capacity, or we have a potential. We have this consciousness, our consciousness, which is from deep inside, it is a clear light. So it is like a brightly, clearly, sort of that is remaining in us as a potential, right? It exists as a potential. So that is why on the basic ground level, we have a Manjushri nature. And then when we actually, take this on the path level, then somehow when we starting to actually invoke that nature, right? The wisdom nature, the supreme understanding nature, or the potential that we have, when we starting to actually invoke that, and then it turns into the path level. So like a path level, right? And then, on the result level, then what happens is it is totally unfolded, right? It is like it unfolded, totally unfolding, and kind of reach it fully potential, right? Like when the full potential is ripe, that's the result level, and that is the resultant Manjushri. So somehow, this is something I kind of I explain, Manjushri Namasankiti, just sort of what do you call, very simple, so that to leave some imprints in your consciousness. So today I just thought that I will just, because yesterday was the important days of the proclamation of the Manjushri Namasankiti, and so today, because I put that in the Facebook, and then just kind of it is it will leave a kind of good karmic impression, impression or imprints. So kind of like it also says that if you there's a recommendation that if you read that, even though you don't know the meaning of that sutra, then just kind of like if you read that continuously every day for 1 month, somehow it will actually bring some kind of like a level of supreme understanding, or somehow it's kind of like you will get the blessing of Manjushri. So that is also said in the text, and so that is why I just put it there. But this is kind of like a sometimes we just kind of believe like that. So if it happens, then it is good, right? If it doesn't happen, then there's no loss in it. So anyway, so today I just thought to actually explain a little bit on Manjushri, and what Manjushri represent is Manjushri represent the Sherab wisdom. And then wisdom, what is the meaning of wisdom? Sherab. She means understanding or awareness or knowing, and Rab means supreme. So if you put these two words together, then it is called Sherab, means supreme understanding, supreme knowing. So like all the knowing, right? And things that we know, right? The mundane thing. Like for example, we know this, that, we know this. So somehow all the knowings are not supreme knowing, right? So when does the knowing become supreme? And then like when knowing become upgraded, then knowing becomes supreme. Then how does the knowing become supreme? How does the knowing upgrade? Then something you know more of this thing. So when you know more, so that is why in sometimes we also call Hakton, right? Hakton Vipassana. Hakton, Hakwa means more, right? Tongwa means seeing more, sort of like not just seeing it, but you just go kind of more knowing, like everything has a different dimension, right? So there's like a one dimension, or there's a one frequency, and then there's many different layers of frequency on everything, every single thing. So kind of like when you know the kind of like more and more, deeper and deeper, then somehow you are actually having hakpong, like you are having a special insight, special more, right? Special or kind of more insightful, sort of like that. All right. Then kind of when Sherab, when Sherab actually the supreme understanding, when supreme understanding actually become more, again that will become more, and like when the Sherab advanced, then Sherab become a Yeshe. That is the Tibetan Yeshe. In Sanskrit it is called Jnana, right? Jnana, sort of like so it is kind of like a Jnana Yeshe. So this also, Yeshe is also a very interesting word. Ye and She, there's a two word. Ye, actually in Tibetan, Ye means root, like in Dhamma, like Tibetan say Dhamma, primordial, right? Primordial, Ye means primordial, or Dhamma, or like a root, or like a Tsawa, right? So Ye means She, again. So again, understanding, sort of like so when does your Sherab become a Yeshe? Then it is like the Yeshe is the totally upgraded version of Sherab. So then when you are actually mind, when you know not just supreme understanding, supreme knowing, but it actually know the primordial nature of thing, when it knows the root, the source, right? The source of, when you know the source of the thing, then it like a, and when you know the source of thing, sort of like a knowing the source of thing not as an object, right? It's just kind of like a nime yishi, that is what we call. Nime means non-dual understanding, sort of like a, so somehow the primordial understanding, like the understanding the primordial nature. When you actually understand the primordial nature, then the object and the observer become non-dual. So there's kind of like a object is not separate from the observer, and observer is not separate from the object. It becomes one. That's the kind of one. So somehow it is kind of like another meaning for dhyan. Dhyan is like absorption. Absorption means totally absorbing, sort of like the observer absorbed into the object and the object absorbed into the observer. So subject-object, non-duality, that level is called the yishi. All right? So just kind of like, maybe you have heard many kind of teachings regarding Sherab and yishi, right? So what is Sherab? What is yishi? These are the important things to actually know. And then, in the Manjushri Nama Sangiti, actually, Jambe yishi sembe, so this is like when we actually go and study into this, the whole detail of the Manjushri Nama Sangiti, then it actually tells you all the meaning of what is Yishi Sempa, Jambe Yishi Sempa. What is the wisdom being that is called the wisdom being that is called the Manjushri. So that is kind of very important kind of like a thing, and I hope someday we can study Manjushri Nama Sangiti, but it is just kind of, it is not easy, kind of like it is not a, like it needs a lot of understanding, and also to be able to study Manjushri Nama Sangiti. I think we also need a lot of huge support from our karma. So like if somehow many people actually not even have an interest, it's just kind of to have just a willingness to study Manjushri Nama Sangiti. I think it takes a lot of what do you call leda molam karma from your past life, and also prayer from your past life, and those people, very few people will actually kind of like have a genuine willingness to study the Manjushri Nama Sangiti. And it's just kind of, it is natural, right? Generally, kind of like our human mind, like we don't put a lot of kind of value, right? We don't put a lot of value to this kind of like a great, Dharma teaching. We like somehow like our interest, like it is just kind of like interest in Dharma is just like for many people it is just a side interest or just some kind of hobby, right? It's just like some people do collect a stamp, right? So that is like a collecting stamp, collecting coin is like a hobby. So so many people actually collect Dharma, kind of like a hobby. So then it is kind of like, it is not like even like in the hobby, it's also kind of not the important hobby one, right? It's just kind of like like our interest, like our priority kind of like many people's priority is just some kind of mundane thing, right? If there is some kind of mundane gossip things or politics things happening, and then everybody is so interested, what's happening, I want to know. But when it comes to what is the primordial meaning, what is the truth, what it is, what am I, who am I, what is the reality, it is kind of, when it comes to that, then like our mundane mind kind of take it like, oh, that is just some boring stuff, right? So that's like, whenever we have that kind of thought, then that is considered to be a little bit obstacle, right? So it shows that what do you call, like when our interest doesn't go too much into the actual real meaning, then somehow we don't have that much strong support from our karma or molam, like a prayer from our past life. So just kind of sometime we should actually acknowledge that. We should acknowledge that, yes, I think that is me. I am kind of like, I am not making dharma as a priority. And that is kind of, it is okay to acknowledge that, right? We are somehow, it is not the most important one for many of us, right? So especially like if we look around, kind of like people don't prioritize knowing the dharma or kind of making their understanding into a supreme, or supreme into a primordial wisdom. And these are the sort of like a very kind of not so much there's not so much force kind of willingness coming, and so that is kind of, we acknowledge that, and then kind of like by acknowledging it, you don't have to feel bad. Just say that this is what I am, so I will pray. So just pray, just at least pray, that like and this time I'm like this, but in the future I hope and I pray that I will put more priority to the dharma and to the real meaning, sort of like not so much into something meaningless, right? And there are so many meaningless things, right? In samsara there are so many meaningless things to be interested, and sometimes even when we are kind of hearing about that, we will think that, okay, I think I'm interested in many meaningless things, but then we will not agree that those are not meaningless, they are very meaningful, right? So many of our most meaningful things are samsaric things, right? Anyway, today teaching is on the Sherab, and so I think everybody here, I want to, whoever I see here on my screen, so sometimes I, like your name doesn't show on the screen on my, because I'm using phone as a, where I stream, and then I use this iPad to see, you. So sometimes, if I don't greet you personally, that means your name is not showing on my screen. So please, I apologize. And so here on my screen, I see ZaChoeje Rashidele, Penzola Rashidele, and then Janet Campbell, Rashidele Rinpoche, Rashidele, Namye Sangbo, Rashidele, and Gonchi Chulten Alten Tesek, Rashidele, and JC Singh, Rashidele, Tim Sharpen, Rashidele, Chuden Kielsang Tau, Chuden La Rashidele, Jingme Rin Han, Rashidele, Jingme La, Andrew Wall, immense thankful Rinpoche, you are welcome. And then Tanhya Toms, I am new. Could someone please message the name of the text Rinpoche is speaking? If so, I can study and access it. It is called Manjushri Namasangiti. So I don't know if you have access to my Facebook. I have posted that the short version of the Manjushri Namasangiti. Actually, the Manjushri Namasangiti. So that's a little bit long because if you are new, this kind of title will a little bit confuse you. So maybe, I will just try to put the text Manjushri Namasangiti. It is like this. So I don't know exactly if it is the right spelling. So I'm just kind of writing in English phonetic, and it is Namasangiti. So that is the text Manjushri Namasangiti. All right. And then John Gossett Tashidelek, then Alex Norden Tashidelek. Alex, thank you, Rinpoche, you are welcome. Martin's Tibetan name is Sherab Sangbo. Oh, that's a wonderful name, Sherab. So this has helped me understand that better. All right. And okay, so I think Alex also put message to Tanya. And then Lobsang Tarchin La Tashidelek, Kesna Gendun La Tashidelek, Lobsang Tarki La Tashidelek, Regular Tashidelek. Dennis Shewer, you are welcome, Tashidelek. And then I see Ninju, prostration to Gurudev, Master, immeasurable gratitude for opening up the rasa and essence to us. Ma Saraswati is the goddess of wisdom, and I think maybe you had said in Tibetan that original name of Asa was also perhaps Rasa. Okay, Gurudev, just today I heard that prayer means willingness to receive. If so, Gurudev maybe humbly request teaching on Shri Manjushri Namasangiti. I would dare ask, except Gurudev had mentioned just now, and Master, could you bless us to pronounce the mantra correctly? Please, I think the mantra is Om. Which one? I think Manjushri mantra is Om Arapasanadi, right? So it is like Om. Om is a beginning of the mantra, and then so there's a 5-letter Arapasana, sort of like so somehow like each of these Arapasana actually represent the 5 wisdom, right? Mirror-like wisdom, right? Melontavi Yishi, and Nyamni Yishi, Chuyin Yishi, Soto Yishi, Chatu Yishi, sort of like a 5 Buddha family, like the primordial Buddha. So those are kind of a little bit confusing if you are new. So like there are 5 primordial wisdom. So these 5, letter Arapazana represent this 5 wisdom. And then D, like at the end, Manjushri, D is like the seed syllable, like a seed. In Sanskrit, it's called bij, right? Bija. So the bija, seed syllable of the Manjushri is a D. So D is a seed syllable. So okay. So yes, teaching on Manjushri Namasangiti is it is a little bit challenging because, as I said, to explain and to understand this meaning, it's kind of like a need little bit background study, big background understanding of Buddhism, like especially sort of like a background understanding of Vajrayana. And so, I hope that someday, maybe, if there is a kind of enough karma for us to study, and then I think it will manifest, I hope. And then, Ngaon Sherbala, Tashidelek, Evelyn Jensen, thank you, you're welcome, Tashidelek. And David Kumido, thank you, Rinpoche, you're welcome, David. Kela here, okay, Kela Tashidelek. I taught this text many years ago, but never understood its significance. A blessing to know more. Yes, I think this is the root of the Tantra. Even the the root of the Yamentaka, also Manjushri Namasankiti, and also Manjushri Namasankiti is also the root text of the Kalachakra too. So these are like it's a very important text. But as I said, there are like 160 verses, more than 160 verses in Tibetan translation. And what I put is just a Yangning, means essence, the short form, all right? And then John, thankful for these teachings. Hope you will get back to Arizona someday soon to bless us here. I hope so. I hope I will get there soon. And then Ngawan Shebala Tashid, how are you? Good, I'm good. And Adela Morales Tashidelek. Okay. So I think so today I think there's not any questions. So I think Ninju has asked a question, so that is it. All right. So anyway, so today, this Wednesday, we are kind of like casually, I am sharing this meaning on wisdom and Yishe, right? And so here, as you all have heard, in India, actually, it is a little bit overwhelmingly spreading the COVID-19. And so far, in the Tibetan village here where I'm staying, we are pretty safe. And so I myself also already had my second shot 1 week ago. And many of the people here, I think most of them already have. So now, and hopefully this pandemic situation will kind of like we will overcome that obstacle soon. And so there are, when I hear there's many people actually losing their family members and their loved one, and that's very sad to see. So I will pray for everybody who is having a difficult time. And please, you all also, I request that you all should pray that this pandemic will clear soon. And so it's kind of giving now it's kind of more than 1.5 years almost, right? People are actually struggling. So and in the United States, I think it is getting better now, and I hope that the rest of the world also will get better soon, and we all reconcile and recover from this difficult situation. All right. So meanwhile, please take care, be safe, and stay strong, and pray for the well-being of everybody. Thank you.